All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, Peter Obi said during the campaigns repeatedly that hunger, poverty, and insecurity do not know tribe or religion. And that is what we are seeing in Nigeria today. Even though the consequences of bad leadership are far-reaching and no one is immune, the regions where APC actually got the support that helped them to rig their way into power are the ones feeling the heat of Tinubu's policies the most. We have seen protests in areas that exalted the Muslim tickets. Protests against hunger and poverty are almost a daily affair in regions where many opted for ethnicity. But in the areas where competence and integrity were the basis for choosing a candidate, we are yet to see a single protest. Is God not great? And the APC keeps playing out the same script, propaganda and blame games, to the point that APC under Tinubu blamed Obi for their failure, then turned around to ask him for ideas on how to run government. But just few hours ago, Yoruba Elders came out and voiced out their opinion on the Tinubu regime. They said the way he is going, he will be disgraced out of office. Before I show you how they said it and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this update. Not much anybody can do to save Nigeria. Tinubu doing very well. Buhari. Former President Muhammadu Buhari says his successor, Bola Tinubu, is doing very well despite public outcry over increased economic hardships and insecurity in the country, adding that the country is so complex and there is nothing much anyone can do to save the country. I thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. I thought Tinubu has done very well, Mr. Buhari said. Nigeria is so complex. Really, there isn't much anybody can do. The former president made this statement at the weekend when he received the Controller General of Customs Bashir Adewale Adeniyi and other officials of the Nigerian Customs in Daura, Katsina State. Mr. Buhari, who presided over the country for 8 years from 2015 to 2023, handed over the leadership of the most populous African country to Mr. Tinubu on May 29th. At that time, Nigeria's inflation was 22% and its debt profile was over 46 trillion, according to the Debt Management Office. Since Mr. Tinubu assumed office, he has announced the removal of fuel subsidy and the end of the dual exchange rate. The Nigerian economy has spiraled downward, while insecurity has taken a frightening trajectory. Yet, Mr. Buhari said the man has done very well, and it is so painful to Nigerians, so sad that these men take over power, plunder the state resources, and then they return to say that the country is not fixable. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here says, then divide the country along ethnic lines. Let everybody start from beginning since Nigeria can't be saved. That is it. This man spent 8 years attacking people who said they wanted Nigeria to divide, only for you to come now and say that the country cannot be saved. If the country cannot be saved, then what is the essence of its continuous existence? And this tweet by Omoya teacher says, the sad soup, first prepared in 2015 by APC under Buhari, is set to continue under the Tinubu presidency in 2024. The succession of madness between Buhari and Tinubu can be best described as disaster succeeding calamity. Oh! And this tweet by Adekola says, the worst and the worst. And this tweet here says, in other words, Buhari is telling you that Nigeria is irredeemable and nobody can save her. Well, why was he against division then? And this tweet by Obabiola Nkosi says, when you are dull and you move with duller schoolmates, you will see every subject as hard that cannot be solved. That is the mentality of you, Buhari. I'm telling you, that is his mentality. And this tweet by Zachariah says, because you fail doesn't mean nobody can do better. God will bring someone soon. 2027 will soon be here. If the people will be ready to set aside their differences, then freedom will be theirs. And they already know who to vote for. There is no question about that. And Kindle here says, this is absurd. If Mr. Failure said this, then we should uncouple the contraption. The lives and well-being of citizens should take preeminence over that of an artificial, unsalvageable entity. That is it. I can't blame anybody who told this line. And this tweet by Jasper says, outstanding failure, saluting failure par excellence. Oh, and Adedonyo Layinka here says, so why is Nigeria still existing since there is no remedy to the myriads of problems? That is the question. Now, let us look at what the Yoruba Elders told Tinubu today. And if you follow their words carefully, they were directly saying to Tinubu that he knows the sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria and that he should go after them or be disgraced out of office. Look at how the papers reported it. If you want to be disgraced out of office like your predecessors, continue to ignore rising insecurity. Afenifere knocks Tinubu. Yoruba socio-political organization Afenifere has advised Tinubu to fix the country's economy, lamenting that Nigeria has become the hunger capital of the world. Afenifere also told Tinubu that it was time for him to demonstrate political will to go after the terrorists wreaking havoc in the country, especially in northern Nigeria. Afenifere, which gave the advice in a statement on Monday, jointly signed by its publicity secretary and assistant, Magaji Gboyega Adejumo and Justice Faloye respectively, reminded Tinubu that he could not afford to fail Nigeria in the critical national assignment. The Nigerian naira plunged to its lowest point on record in official trading as a shortage of US dollars persisted, despite promises by the government to boost supply, lamented the Yoruba apex body, adding, our people are dying due to hunger. Nigeria has become the hunger capital of the world. How are people so impoverished, saddled with paying ransom to kidnappers, right in the middle of possibly the biggest humanitarian crisis in the world, that even Ukraine, a country at war with Russia, lasting 2 years and still counting, is now the one to be sending humanitarian aid to Nigeria? Reacting to the upsurge in the terrorist activities in northern Nigeria, especially the recent killings in Plateau, as well as the abduction of over 200 school children in Kaduna, the Yoruba apex body told Tinubu to be ready to be disgraced and booted out of office should he look the other way while bloodletting continued in the country. It is down to you, Mr. President. If you would rather go the way of your predecessors by looking the other way and let innocent blood flow, be disgraced and set for an early exit, or find the strength, the will, and the courage to face the sponsors of terror with the resolve to eradicating this ubiquitous scourge from ever again taking root anywhere in our land, Afenifere said. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here says, the man is deaf to rising cost of living and insecurities, but when it comes to purchasing a yacht and touring the world, he is so active. And this tweet here by May says, totally agreed with this. The insecurity in the country is becoming too much. How can those hungry looking men called bandits be asking for trillions before they release their kidnapped victims? Who is in control of the money? That is it. They have heavy sponsors and they are known to men in high places. And this tweet here says, Tinubu, like his predecessor, came to power with no blueprint for the nation. He said it is a stone. Imagine a big failure like Buhari giving kudos to Tinubu, an upcoming failure. Birds of the same feather flock together. And Harriet says, karma at work. Tinubu colluded with the northern politicians to make GEJ administration ungovernable. That was what they did in 2014/2015 when the APC was formed. They brought these guys in to destabilize the Jonathan administration and then to fight him if he refused to give up power. But as soon as Jonathan gave up power, they became confused on what to do with those guys, and that is what this country has been battling with ever since. Now, just to be clear, this faction of Afenifere is not the one led by Pa Adebanjo. this is actually the one that opposed the likes of Pa Adebanjo and Dele Farotimi for supporting Peter Obi. These were the ones that said that ethnicity should top everything. The Dele Farotimi faction is now just mute, watching these other guys protesting, whining, and complaining about the state of the nation. We told you, but you refuse to listen. These are just things we see when we put petty sentiments above facts. Nigeria will never get it right until we are ready to unite as a people against the political elites that have held us captives for so many years. Only then can we take our country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.